Come and check out this review of the Lotte Hoodie Pattern from Sinclair Patterns. Hi YouTube, I'm Crystal of Crystalsewsandstuff.com. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my review of the Lotte Hoodie Pattern by Sinclair Patterns. And this is a really cute hoodie pattern and I'm just so much in love with it. So let me go ahead and tell you more about the pattern. So this is a hoodie or cowl pattern by Sinclair Patterns, designed for heavier weight knits like your sweater knits, your ponte knits and things of that nature. And so it has two versions. It has a hooded version as well as a cowl neck version, and it comes in sizes 0 to 30. There are 3 tiers of sizing. There's petite sizing, regular sizing, as well as tall sizing. So the petite sizing is for persons 5'1" to 5'3". The regular sizing is from 5'4" to 5'6", and then the tall sizing is from 5'7" to 5'9". And then the measurements for the body measurements for the pattern are for a bust measurement of 31.5 to 59.8 inches, a waist of 23.6 inches to 52.4 inches, and then hips of 33.9 inches to 63 inches. And it also comes in cup sizes ranging from B to E cup. So this pattern has a ton of options for all different size people. So let me tell you a bit more about the pattern. So the pattern has a lot of pattern pieces, but I found the directions amazing. I found that the directions were very clear and easy to follow. So they had directions on how to pick your knit, how to measure yourself, how to decide between sizes, just a lot of great options. They had different ways to hem your knits, just how to sew knits, all kinds of tips within the pattern. So I really enjoyed sewing this up. So let me tell you about the pattern pieces. So you have a front centerpiece, and then that is lined. So you cut that twice, and it serves kind of as your pocket too. And then you have a left side piece and a right side piece for the front, and then you have this front piece. So all of these pieces together all of these pieces come together to make your front. And then you have just one back piece, and then you have your hood, and that is cut twice, and then it is also lined. And then you have your arm pieces, so just one arm piece, and then you have the option of doing a thumb hole cuff. And so there are 3 pieces to the thumb hole cuff. So you have a piece for the center section, you have a piece for the thumb area, and then you just have your cuff area. But you also have the option just to do a plain regular cuff. And I also love that this pattern has an option for the drawstring. You can add a little bit of flair to by adding eyelets. So I love that. And then they also say to go ahead and add something to stabilize your eyelets. So I used a little piece of faux leather that I had in my stash, and then I used some eyelets that I picked up from Joann's a while ago. So I really love this detail. And then they had the option for you to do it as one loop for your drawstring through the hood, or you can do it as 2 loops for the drawstring. I decided to do just 1 loop because I don't have anything in my closet that just has the 1 loop. And so I love this. And you can also, instead of doing the hood option, you can do a cowl, and you have the option to add a drawstring. And if you don't have eyelets, you can also just make buttonholes on your machine and go ahead and sew that up with buttonholes instead of using eyelets. I love how these eyelets turned out. So I just loved everything about this pattern. So I sewed up a size small in the bust area, and then a medium in the waist area, and then a large towards the hip. So I kind of graded out in just the front and back pieces, the side pieces, and then this middle front piece. So, and then hemband I sewed at a size large. So I really like how it turned out with that little bit of grading, because that's where I fell on as far as the measurement chart. But I didn't have to make any height adjustments because I sewed up the petite version. So I'm really happy with the sizing on this pattern. So the fabric that I chose was this lovely, I don't know what it's called, but it's this nice like striped abstract ponte knit that I've had in my stash for a couple, probably about 4 years now. I picked it up in New York, and I think I picked it up from Chic Fabrics in New York, and I just love how it turned out with this beautiful striped knit. And I've just been hoarding it forever because it's a kind of a crazy kind of color pattern, and so I didn't know what to sew with it. But I'm so glad I went on ahead with this fabric. I started out with another fabric that I had that was a border print, and I was going to use different parts of the border print, but I couldn't get it to work out and look nice together, so I just nixed that. And I said, what else do I have? So I dug through my stash, and I found this, I remember I had this colorful knit, and then I had just enough of this black ponte left over. I made a jacket with this a while ago, and so I had just enough to go ahead and do the front pocket as well as the arms, the sleeves, and so I decided to use that. And then I had a little bit of just plain cotton jersey that I used for the lining for the hood, and then I also had a little bit of maroon cotton jersey lining, and I used that to line the pockets. So I'm really glad I had all of these scraps everywhere. I mean, this part wasn't scraps. I still have a lot of this fabric left. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, just yet. But I really love how it all turned out together. I think it looks great paired up with this black. It's like, I think this pattern is so perfect if you love to mix your fabrics in one garment. And this is just perfect. They had so many versions on the website that had 2 and 3 different types of fabrics together to make really cute styles for the pattern. So, and I think it really does well if you have at least one solid to kind of balance out all of the crazy patterns that you use. I really think it helps to bring out the pattern of the printed areas if you have a nice solid to go with it. So I'm glad I went with this combo. So I highly recommend this pattern. So some of the details that I loved about the pattern is that there are a lot of different areas that are top stitched. So you top stitched this front top panel, you top stitched the sides of the left and right panel, you top stitched the shoulder seams. They also explain how to understitch the hood and how to add that on. So the pictures were very, very clear on this pattern, and what I did was I kept it on my iPad and I zoomed in on the pictures really well just so I can make sure I wasn't doing anything incorrectly. So because the directions are very clear on how like to do the thumb hole cuff, but I found that if I looked at the pictures even more closely, I can get a better idea of how they wanted you to construct the thumb holes, because it's 3 different parts to the thumb hole section. And so what it is one long piece, and then you have a piece for this long, for the thumb section, and then a little piece that goes over it, and you have to line it up correctly in order, and then sandwich the 2 pieces of the cuff together. And I like how they explained it, and all I did was zoom in. I wrote notes on it and everything with my little Apple pencil to go ahead and zoom in on everything that I needed to do with that. So I'm really glad I figured out that feature on the iPad, that you can zoom in and mark up on Adobe, the Adobe reader that PDFs are shown on. You can go in and make marks and then zoom in and really tell exactly how to follow the directions. And so the pictures were very clear. I like that they use different colored fabrics for different parts of the instructions so you can more easily follow along. I also really love the hood on this pattern. It's a nice big hood that covers the head well, and then it also overlaps in the front, so I just think that is such a unique detail. And then of course the eyelets are just awesome. I'm so glad I added the eyelets. I think it gives it a really nice flare, and I'm glad I had these little pieces of leather. I just did a little 1-inch square of leather on it, and so I like how that turned out. I mean, this pattern was just so much fun to sew. I mean, you got to use fabric glue to to put the faux leather on, and then you got to use a hammer and or eyelet. You can use the eyelet pliers to attach the eyelets, so that was fun. So this was a lot of fun to sew, so I'm really glad I made it. So now let me show you some quick pics and twirls of me wearing this really cute and comfy, cozy hoodie. It's about to snow tomorrow here, so I'm really glad I made it. It's just such a cool pattern. I highly recommend it. But anyway, here are some pics and twirls of me wearing it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel before, go ahead and hit the subscription button, and as well as the bell notification so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.